Hi, I'm Mr. Simons, and in this video we're looking at changing work patterns, part 1. This is part of the 910 Commerce course, Employment Issues. In this video we're going to look at why Australia's work patterns have changed. So this is the focus of this video. And for this video we're going to look at 4 reasons why work in Australia has changed. These reasons are changing industries, changing occupations, changing employee expectations, and increasing casual employment. So these will be our headings as we go for our content today. Before we start, as always, let's look at some key vocab terms. The first term we're going to need to know is employees. And employees are people who work for a wage or a salary. So they get an hourly rate of pay or a yearly rate of pay, but they are people who work for this income. Employers, they are a person or business that hires employees. They pay the employees this money. The labour force. Now the labour force consists of people aged 15 and over who are employed or unemployed in a country. That is a country's labour force, all the people who are working or trying to find a job. Now let's look at different types of industries. Now a primary industry. Primary industry looks at raw materials or natural resources. So a primary industry will dig things out from the ground, will farm, will do things that involve just getting natural resources out of the ground or just extracting them. Now a secondary industry turns the natural resources from the primary industries into semi-finished goods. So they transform the primary industry's products into something more developed. And then we've got what's known as a tertiary industry, like a third level of industry. And a tertiary industry is an industry that provides a service to other people. And we're going to look at examples of all of these in this video. So just be clear on primary industry gets the natural resources, secondary industry turns natural resources into some kind of product, and a tertiary industry provides a service to other people. So that's the key vocab for these sets of videos. So our first point today, or first point in this video, is looking at changing industries. And what we're going to focus on is primary, secondary and tertiary industries. So if we look at the primary industry, there you can see the cows on a farm. A primary industry is all about producing raw materials. So this is farming, fishing, grazing, forestry. This is sourcing our food. A primary industry is all about getting that natural resources out of the ground. About 60% of Australia's exports are in primary industries. So if we then move to the secondary industry, and you can see this worker here, what they're doing is they're taking the raw materials. So say this worker is taking wood that is chopped down from a tree, and they're turning it into a semi-finished product. Maybe they're turning it into a picture frame, or maybe they're turning it into the elements of some kind of beams or support structures that can go in a house. But either way, we're going from the primary industry, developing the products in the secondary industry. Now, the third level of industry is the tertiary industry. And the tertiary industry is all about providing a service to people. So you can see this person with his book and the law scales in the background. So a lawyer is someone who provides a service, maybe a dentist or a hairdresser. So all these people are not dealing with raw materials or semi-finished goods, they are providing a service. So in Australia, we are pretty strong on primary industries, but we are really focusing on tertiary industries and providing services. If we then focus on another way that work has changed, and that's the change in occupations. that if we look at it in 1900, which was a little while ago, about a third of Australia's labour force worked in those primary industries that we looked at, so things like mining and farming. Today, around 4% only work in those occupations. Why have we seen such a change? Why have we moved from primary to other industries? And there are two things to think about. One is that technology. So technology has meant that people have all sorts of new jobs that mean they don't have to be mining or farming. They can work wherever they want. They can do different kinds of jobs that allow them to use technology such as the internet to do different kinds of jobs and move away from primary industries to maybe tertiary industries. The other reason why Australia's nature of work has changed is that more people have moved from regional and rural areas to the cities, so that they have shifted where they live from places where primary industries used to be big to now the cities, which are more focused around tertiary industries. So these are reasons why the types of occupations that Australians do has changed. Another factor that has changed the nature of Australia's work is changes in employee expectations. What do we mean by this? Well, the type of work that people want to do has very much changed. So people now want their jobs to be challenging and interesting and give them a career path. They're not interested in just doing a job because they need to do a job. For example, we can see this person here going in all sorts of different directions. That today people won't take any job, they want to move in all sorts of directions. They don't want to be stuck on the farm or underground. They want to travel, they want different opportunities. So this means that people are looking for different types of jobs. So the final point for this video is looking at the rise of casual employment. And we can see our waitress working down there in the cafe or the restaurant. The number of casual workers, so remember casual workers being the workers that are only working when they're required, when employers need them, don't have the benefits that other workers do, entitlements, that the number of casual workers has grown significantly. Now around 40% of Australia's labour force, remember labour force from the vocab terms, is employed in casual employment. This is good for employers because employers have the flexibility to say, I need you to work, I don't need you to work, and either way, they don't have to pay the workers entitlements. But it can be challenging for workers because workers, sure, they have the flexibility, but the thing is that they don't have all of the extra benefits that come with working part-time or full-time. And this can be a difficult situation for workers who would like to work more hours or have more job security.